Welcome, everybody, to CavsHQ Happy Hour. It is presented by Budweiser, John, and Rafa. Great to be joining you once again. You got a prop there, huh? Very nice.
Yeah, I got to get ready. It's a happy hour, you said.
I like it. How have you been, my friend? Still wifeless, I assume?
Still wifeless. According to my paperwork, I'm still married, but it's actually been 2 months and 2 days since I have seen my wife. The last time we played in Miami on February 22nd. It's unbelievable how long it's been, John. It's been already almost the end of April, and I'm just happy to be healthy and to be here and to be part of this wonderful organization. And I'm happy to see you and your family doing well as well.
Yeah, it is. It's nice to see you too. Obviously, it's important for all of us to stay connected. We're glad to be joining you again. Isn't it nice? At least we don't get to see our fans, Rafa, but at least we almost feel like we're able to touch them once again when we do these type of shows.
The amazing thing about, you know how we always criticize or think that social media is kind of bad sometimes? Where
Right.
would we be without even video calls? The fact that we can actually see people in this time, we would be really going insane without the ability to talk and see people the way we are right now with social media. So I think it's the good and bad of the world of social media. And like Spider-Man used to say, with great powers come great responsibilities. And I think if you use it the right way, it's a wonderful tool.
Hey, Rafa, of course, along with being the Spanish voice of the Cavs, is also the Spanish voice of the Browns. Jedrick Wills. Rafa, what do you think?
I think the Browns, they thought they were going to have to take whatever was left in terms of offensive tackles, but the way the first 9 picks went, they actually had a choice to make between the 3 guys that they were actually considering. And Jedrick Wills, you know, a 2-year starter in Alabama, a true freshman when he got in and played. And people forget that he had to play on the left side, because on the right side was the guy that was picked by Cincinnati a year before. So he was so good, they had to put him on the field. And at the end of the day, he worked out well for Alabama because Tagovailoa is left-handed, so he was actually guarding the blind side. And it just worked perfectly. So I think the question is always, John, you know, will he be able to make the switch again? I think he will. He's so talented.
I agree. I wouldn't be worried about that. Have you ever seen a draft like how many not only offensive linemen went in the first round, but left tackle? I mean, almost all of them were natural left tackles. It was unbelievable.
It is amazing. And during the draft, you always realize that, yes, you know, you got to have a quarterback, and yes, the quarterback got to have receivers, but the lines, offensive and defensive lines, are just incredibly important for any team. And obviously the Browns have had that need in their offensive line and everything. And what better for this kid? Like one of the first phone calls he gets it from Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
The standard of offensive linemen offering his help and offering to help him to make the transition.
You know, it's funny. We read all the, you know, the draft previews and everything else on all these kids. All I needed to hear was Joe Thomas say, "I like the pick, then I'm in," right? I mean, that's once he approved, perfect. They did a great job.
Not only he liked the pick, John, he immediately screamed, "We're going to the Super Bowl," after Commissioner Goodell mentioned the Cleveland Browns pick on the 10th spot. So I'm happy for the Browns, happy for the Browns fans, because I think they were looking forward to fill that hole. And I think now they don't have to make a trade. They were thinking about Trent Williams from Washington making the trade to fill the hole. Now they can actually concentrate. They have 7 more picks to go in the next 2 days. So we'll see how it goes.
We have a great show. Larry Nance is going to be joining us. We have tons of things to talk to Larry about, including the Browns.
Speaking of Browns fans.
Yes, obviously. Larry, a big Browns fan. He's been doing a great job in the community. We're going to talk about that as well as this show rolls along. Rafa, we mentioned last time we talked about what we were watching. I tried to watch your Olympic channel, and I just can't. It's not holding. I try. I know. I like everybody else. I'm longing for live sports. I'm longing for sports that I don't know the result to, which on the Olympic channel is 99% of the time.
I'll tell you what, though. I watch, and I don't, because they show some stuff that I wouldn't watch. I watched the finals of the curling match when they won the U.S. won the but they had an hour of what Michael Phelps did in the Beijing Olympics when he won the 8 goals, 7 by world record time. It's unbelievable.
We kind of caught on to Money Heist, kind of like it. It's on Netflix. Major League Baseball, MLB Network. I don't know what it is, man. I miss the Indians. I've been dying for some baseball. You and I were talking about the Astros before, right? And what the appropriate penalty is. I didn't know what my response would be watching the Astros, but I watched that Nationals-Astros series, right? And the prevailing emotion was anger. You know what I mean? I don't know I didn't know that I'd react that way, but watching game 1, right? Scherzer's out there. One of the best pitchers ever, right? Max Scherzer. Throw breaking ball after breaking ball. They're dropping a foot and a half, right? Curveball. This is the first inning of game 1. Facing somebody like, I think it was Gurriel, right? Runs a 99-mile-an-hour fastball with 2 strikes up at his shoulders, and Gurriel just turns on it. And there's no way, we all remember the Altuve off Chapman, right? Because Chapman's face and the big, you said, how in the world did he catch up with that high fastball? But watching throughout the course of the game at bats, where now you're thinking, there is no way that he catches up to that pitch unless he knows a fastball is coming. And
one thing,
had the whole game watching the game.
And they're very different when you talk about Mariano Rivera, who only threw the cutter, and everybody knew what was coming, and they still couldn't hit him. But another thing is to know what's coming when there's a variety of pitches coming in, and he's throwing you the curveball or the slider, and then he throws you the four-seamer or whatever it is. If you know what's coming and where it's coming, it's a big difference. And then you can see, I will never forget, and now I understand it, but as a Yankee fan, when I saw Chapman half smile, half like unbelievable, like he couldn't believe it.
Right.
How did he hit that ball? Now we know, wow.
Yeah. And it's just, and again, we talked about it when it happened, is vacating the World Series the right thing to do? At first I thought, well, that's way too extreme. The World Series wins. Now the Nationals won that series, right? But the 2 previous ones, at first that seemed too extreme. Now I'm like, there's no question in my mind that that all should be vacated. I would have a zero problem as a big baseball fan knowing that 2 of those there's no champion for 2 of those seasons.
Okay, and that's a good word, because the Dodgers and their council people, they were trying to get the title the way, because then you give it to the Yankees, who got eliminated by the Astros. So vacated is fine. But I'll tell you one thing: I love watching those old games, except that I know the result. And in your case, when I told you, hey, they're showing the '92 Braves Pirates, you didn't want to watch it because you know what happened. Olympics is great.
That's the charm of your Olympic channel. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going to happen, but some of the sports. I saw some handball. Handball's pretty fun. Indoor handball. That's a fun game. But for the most part, we've been skipping around. We've been looking. We talked about it last time. We know how much sports we watch on television with our job, but it almost reminds you how much we watch that's not related with our job when we're taking a break and just relaxing.
I think how much we just watch basketball.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
I didn't even know there were channels that I'm watching now. Like there is such the History Channel and the Discovery Channel. I forget the name. I think it's the Smithsonian Channel. They have hour shows about national parks and what they do to the. It's amazing. I'm educating myself because.
It'd be much smarter when we come
out. I watched a whole hour on why it was good that they reintroduced the wolves into Yellowstone.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I recommend it.
Yeah. So we have Larry Nance who's going to be joining us. And Larry, like a lot of the Cavs, has been instrumental in helping get us through this current situation, unprecedented, this pandemic. But I think it's worth noting, Rafa, and I'm looking at the list, I mean, the Cavs have been incredible, when it's come to being at the forefront of this. The NBA, I think in general, to me, it makes me proud to be a part of the NBA and the Cavs. Adam Silver got out in front of this thing before any other sports league. question that they're not, people are talking about coming back. Adam Silver's not going to jeopardize anyone to get back. And they're dying to play. Believe me, we hear from the NBA and we hear from the, what they're trying to do to get themselves back on the floor. They're trying to do this, but there's no way they're going to jeopardize the health of anybody. So who knows how close we are. But like I said, to me, it's a matter of pride, Rafa, just seeing what the NBA and how the Cavs have handled this. And this, like I said, it's unprecedented. We've never been through this before, so you're kind of making it up as you go along. And it's been really impressive from both organizations.
And that's where the greatness comes, because it's not something that you have trained for. It's a pandemic that has stopped the world, not just Cleveland, not just Ohio, not just the U.S. It is worldwide. And when you mention pride, I think not only pride of being part of the NBA, but when you talk about our organization led by Mr. Dan Gilbert, how when the NBA made the first move, a very important move to put basketball on the side and make it a priority for the health of our fans and our players, our organization as well put our team members, we call our co-workers, they put them first, and they make sure that everybody was taken care of. And to this day, the team members, the community, and the people that actually need the help and the ones that are actually risking their lives to make sure that we're staying here at home and stay healthy. I think that's one of the greatest things that I have taken out of all this, how the greatness of our organization about putting our community first, giving back in a way, because they are the reason why we're here. And among all the other things, the fact that Dan Gilbert has chosen to compensate all our part-time employees for all the games that were supposed to be taken care of all the way up to April 15, all the concerts, all the NCAA tournaments, even the employees that are not Cavs employees, the RMAC, all the concession employees have been compensated by the Cavaliers organization. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, John, about all the things that we as an organization, our players have really come up to the front and really stepped up.
The pillar of all Dan Gilbert-led organizations is do the right thing. It's simple. It sounds so simple, but that's exactly what the Cavs, really the NBA, have been doing as well. I have the list here, Rafa. So Dan and the Cavs are compensating their part-time event staff, including Aramark, as you mentioned. Those aren't Cavs employees. Those are Aramark employees that do the concessions through the end of the season, full compensation for the MAC and NCAA tournaments, concerts, as you mentioned. Total compensation to part-time event staff is over $1.2 million. I mean, it's just, it's great to see. Obviously, the Cavs have been contributing to the COVID-19 Rapid Response Fund. They donated over 3,300 pounds of food. And then you mentioned the players, Rafa. We're going to talk to Larry Nance, who has been huge in terms of his contributions and everything else that he's done. J.B. Bickerstaff had a personal donation to the Cleveland Food Bank and the Children's Hunger Alliance. Lindsey Gottlieb has been active. We've heard about Kevin Love. How about Andre Drummond? Andre donated $50,000 to support the part-time event staff and another $100,000 the Middlesex Health Emergency Response Fund in his hometown in Middletown, Connecticut. Kristen Thompson, $100 discount Drug Mart gift cards to all employees. And then Junior, we're going to talk to him about it. But Larry, $100,000 to 2 local food banks, also doing work with Key Bank. The list goes on and on. I think the response has been phenomenal.
We're all in this together, and I think what you just went through is exactly the bottom line of this whole pandemic. It's just the fact that everybody had to come up, and the ones that I can't do what Kevin Love did to start this thing. It's like an avalanche of players donating. He donated the first $100,000 so they could compensate the part-time employees. I have a neighbor that is a doctor and has been working at the Cleveland Clinic this whole time. Well, the other days I went to Barroco and got him a whole meal and texted him and dropped it off in his door. And the wonderful thing about Barroco is that all the packages is very hermetically packaged and it's like tamper-proof. So I said, don't worry about it, okay? And so I did it felt good to help. And I don't know if it's the same with other people, but it's just, if we all need a little bit, everything will be better, right? We don't have to donate in the thousands or in the millions like the people that can have. But if we do a little bit here and a little bit there, we're all gonna be okay when we come out of this.
Well done, and well said. And how about again, it's almost like we say this every time, but it's worth repeating to those of you on the front lines battling this, not only for those who are sick, but also to protect the rest of us from getting sick. You're the true heroes, and also Rafa, those who don't have the luxury of staying at home and have to continue to work. Thank you so much for all you do. Are you ready to get to – I'm interested to hear what Larry thinks about this first round pick. You ready to bring him in?
I want to talk about Brown, but I also have a couple of bones to pick with him about Premier Soccer League. He's been getting a little rowdy with me on social media.
He is a big fan. He is a big fan. And with that, let's bring him in. Larry, good to see you, my friend. How you holding up?
Guys? What's up, guys? I'm good. Just trying not to have my wife kick me out of the house.
All right. Your reaction with the 10th pick in the draft, the Cleveland Browns select Jedrick Wills Jr. out of the University of Alabama.
I love it. I think we all knew that's what we needed to do. It's not like we need any more skill position guys. So, anything to keep Baker off the ground, I'm all in favor of.
Were you surprised that the Browns finally even got to pick from who they wanted at that position? Because the whole time going into the draft was like, they might get to pick the third tackle picked on the draft and everything else. And now all of a sudden they get to pick from the three guys they thought they were going to have to choose. Right.
I mean, I was sitting there watching it like nobody's taken a tackle yet. So therefore we get our pick of the litter. Like that's best case scenario. And so, you just obviously we have no idea what they were thinking, but hopefully they just hopefully they got number one on their board and hopefully it's a home run for us.
I saw a stat, 929 pass block snaps during his collegiate career, only one single solitary sack.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I couldn't believe – we were talking about it before you got on, Larry. There weren't a lot – before, that's what we thought there were going to be more offensive linemen off the board. But how about that first round? I mean, there were loads of offensive linemen and, in fact, left tackles picked in round number one.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we got the highest rated one. We got the best one. So it was even a shock to see Judy slipped so low. It was a weird draft last night.
So what have you been watching? What have you been doing to stay busy? We need your recommendations, right? We're going to ask you about what you've been watching. We're going to ask you about food recommendations. As the Northeast Ohio native, we need some intel.
So what I've been doing is a whole lot of nothing. I play a lot of video games. Me and Haley are rewatching Game of Thrones. So that's taken up a lot of time. I got my dogs here. I've recently become obsessed with the Robinhood app. It's it's stock market.
Oh.
And so all I do all day now is just I keep watching the oil prices and the airlines and just hoping this stuff starts to tick back up so that I could just jump on it. But other than that, nothing else.
Well, right now, because it's almost below zero, the price.
Exactly. I know. They're going to start giving away gas.
It'll go up eventually, so now is the time to buy.
Right. Yeah, they're going to start giving it away.
But I also noticed that you've been active on social media talking trash about Man City's uniform. There was a question posed, who has the ugliest jersey in the Premier League or and obviously you're not going to pick Chelsea, but you really think Man City has the ugliest uniform?
I gotta think. No, if I had to choose, I would pick Watford. I don't like their yellow, but I just like taking jabs at Man City fans because as you can see, they just don't handle it well. That baby blue plus the real blue is a little bit darker and it's in Chelsea. So
how excited would you be if they started playing at least in empty stadiums over there, the Premier League? I would look forward to wake up every morning at 6 a.m. to watch a soccer game right now.
I watch those soccer games at 6 a.m. during the season. So especially while we're not playing, I'll be up 2 hours before, stretching and getting ready for the game, like I'm playing it.
But when you hear about that playing to empty stadiums, what was your reaction to that for the first time, in considering that you very well may be doing that in the near future?
I don't know. Like obviously the fans are such a huge part of it, and like that's what home court advantage is about. Like your home team fans getting behind you and pushing you forward. But look, at this point, I'll take playing on blacktop. I'll take playing in mud. I don't care what it is. I just want to get back out there. So fans, no fans, anything that allows me to finish the season and keep playing, I'm all for it.
So speaking of basketball, Larry, when was the last time you actually played in front of a regulation basket and actually did something with an orange basketball?
So when was the last time I actually got a workout in playing basketball was against the Chicago Bulls. I mean, all the gyms are shut down. I don't want to go, I'm just, trying to do my part in staying home and not going to gyms and can potentially contaminate the area. I don't have it. I never did have it, but, you don't know who did. So I'm just, doing my due diligence and staying home for the most part, but, all the while staying in shape, via Peloton bike and weights and other stuff like that.
Oh, so you're staying active, obviously. You're trying to stay in some kind of cardio shape, right?
Yeah, trying to. Like, there's no such thing as game shape, but I'm doing the best I can so that if we do come back, I'll be ready to go.
The Cavs delivered equipment to your houses, right? Is that how that worked? If you need it?
So we our strength and conditioning coach D Mills did a great job of getting everybody equipment to work out. So we have weight vests, we have weights, we've got different stretching bands, we have they got a bike to our house. So yeah, they've done a really good job of making sure that we have everything we need to stay in fighting shape.
So talk about, have you been eating in? I love getting food recommendations from people in terms of where to mix it up a little bit. You got any go-tos?
So mine's different. Like I live in Akron. So like I'm a little bit out of the way from you guys, but again, I kind of don't judge me on my eating habits. It's hard to eat healthy right now. So obviously you guys know I'm very avidly open spoken about it. I love Swenson's. So like that's probably my number one. We do a whole lot of DoorDash and Grubhub. And then actually there's this little breakfast spot in downtown Akron. It's called Blue Door Cafe. And we drive there just about every morning just to get our little breakfast stuff. It gets us out of the house and get some human interaction without being, with our masks on, of course, and everything, without being, risky. But, for the most part, we're DoorDash and whatever we have lying around the house, I'll just, I'm a big leftover guy this time of year.
Larry, you mentioned you're in Akron, but that has not kept you from trying to give back to the whole Northeast of Ohio community. Can you talk a little bit about what the work you did with KeyBank and how important it is for you to give back to your bigger hometown, which is the whole Cavs family?
Yeah, so no, you're right about that. Like I grew up down here in Akron. I live here in Akron, but I'm an adopted son of Cleveland. So I both of those, this whole Northeast Ohio area I view as, this is my home. This is where I grew up. This is, hopefully where I'll be forever. So yeah, like it's extremely important to me to make sure that this community is doing well and staying healthy and all right during this time. So yeah, we did we made some donations to the Akron Food Bank and the Cleveland Food Bank just to hopefully make sure people are staying all right. And then partnered with KeyBank to support the local businesses around here. So we picked 6 restaurants and did it was a really cool thing. Like for an hour each day throughout the week, it was free to eat there. And then random people would get like a $25 or $50 gift certificate to come back and use at that restaurant. And it was all local businesses, we used Town Hall, we used Dante's and Ginkgo, Gunselman's Tavern. So we did a bunch of really, a bunch of local favorites. And so with that, we also, to those same restaurants, we supported some essential businesses, the fire departments, the police departments, Cleveland Clinic and Akron Children's and stuff like that. So we're just, just trying to make sure that everybody's, let everybody know that we're in this together. And I certainly haven't forgot about everybody going through this. So just trying to do my part.
Yeah, it's great stuff, Larry. And your teammates have also contributed, and really it's been inspiring to see what you guys have done. Are you guys staying in touch? I mean, how often do you talk to either the guys or the coaching staff? I mean, I know we've talked to a couple of the coaches, how they're, trying to stay in touch with you guys, but are you doing anything basketball wise in terms of staying in touch, or is it more just staying connected to everybody?
It's just staying connected. No, it's, it's not like we're filming each other doing ball handling workouts. But no, like, I'm sitting here right now with my text conversations with Kevin and Tristan haven't ended since. Of course, I've been trading jabs with Colin about, the Falcons versus the Browns, which, by the way, that isn't even an argument anymore. Just little things back and forth. Talked to Darius just the other day, KP, just staying in touch with guys. And it's don't have to necessarily ask, not to say that I'm not concerned about if they're staying in shape or not. It's just more so like, checking in to see if, how they're doing mentally through all this. Is it, sometimes it's just nice to get some outside interaction.
Does your dog get jealous because you don't post him as much as Kevin posts Vestry on social media?
Well, I have 3 dogs, so I'm just doing I'm just making sure, I'm trying to spread the love evenly. So if I posted them all as much as Kevin posted Vestry, oh man, you guys would be scrolling for days. So I feel like I know Vestry more than I know my own dogs.
I'm assuming you guys give him grief for that, right? I mean,
oh yeah, more than you could imagine. Yeah, it's like stop letting that dog kiss you in the mouth, dude.
So before we finish this, I don't want to forget, assuming the NFL plays a full regular season, how many victories do the Browns get, and do they make the playoffs next season?
For real, realistically.
It is way too soon. Like, look, we have second round picks, we have third, we have more picks to come. So I need to see, like,
Joe Thomas will win in the Super Bowl as soon as they pick Wills.
Who said that?
Joe Thomas. Immediately when Commissioner Goodell announced the pick, he goes, "We're going to the Super Bowl."
I mean, yeah, he was being a little silly. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm not gonna predict a win yet. Once the draft is over, I'll do my expert analysis and pick some and get the win losses and everything. But we're 100% a playoff team. We obviously, like, the Ravens are the team to beat in our division. That's, there's no debating that. But there's no reason that we can't make the playoffs this year. And me as an avid fan, I'm fully expecting to.
Were you happy about the kid wearing the 740? What's his name? Picked up by the Cincinnati Bengals?
Burrow.
Yeah, like it. Look, I'm not a Bengals fan. I won't be a Bengals fan, and I will not. I will not root for them. But I'm a Joe Burrow fan. Look, he's from here. Like, he went to Ohio. Like, he wanted to be an Ohio kid, and I'm happy for him that he got to come back. So. I'm pulling for him. I just, really don't want the Bengals to have any sort of success.
Have you heard the story that Deli's his favorite player? Have you heard this?
I have heard that. We gotta fix that. Nothing against Deli, but like, we gotta fix that. I gotta get Joe Burrow some Nance jerseys or send him some, because I gotta turn him to get him out of the dark side.
For those who aren't familiar with the story, Joe Burrow, when he was at Ohio State, had a Deli shirt on, and one of the reporters asked him, hey, what's the deal with the Deli shirt? He said, I once saw this guy fall to the floor, elbow somebody in the face, and he's been my favorite player ever since.
Well, you know what? If that's his reasoning, then Deli is your guy. Deli might be one of the toughest dudes there is. So, I take it back. That's a pretty good choice.
And The other question everybody wants to know is, with Chase Young going to the Skins, you bet with Judge Hart gets a little tougher, or are you still willing to bet whatever gets put on the table with Judge Hart? You won it a few seasons ago.
I'll bet my house. I'll bet my dogs. I'll bet my contract. I'll bet my left arm. They are not beating the Browns. Like, I'm a huge Chase Young fan. More power to him. Congrats on second pick. But, like, no. Just no. I'm not.
If you have a message for our fans, during this unprecedented time, and for the folks here in Northeast Ohio and around the country who are banding together and trying to get through this as one, what would that be?
I think you said it best. It's just everybody banding together and trying to stay strong through this. Obviously there's temptation to go outside and interact. Everybody wants some social interaction, but it's just so important to, as people say, quote unquote, flatten the curve and do all that. And, the longer we stay inside, the shorter we'll have to. So, just stay strong and we'll be looking to help out the communities and we're all in this together. So appreciate you having me on, guys.
Well, we appreciate you, and thanks for what you've done in the community and your donations and your generosity as well. This has been CavsHQ Happy Hour, presented by Budweiser, for Rafa and our featured guest, Larry Nance. This is John. Stay safe and healthy, everybody. Have a good weekend.
And you.
And if we ever lose our way, remember who we are today.